You can leverage your knowledge, time, relationships, credit, and then money. Everybody thinks money is what you need to do real estate. And that's not true, because if you can leverage the other four things, the money is what follows, right?
Mic check. I'm good.
Mic check. Mic check.
You can read about success all day long, but if you don't put in the work, the mindset, execution, and the hustle behind your vision, it just remains a dream.
When everything goes wrong, you have to take all the responsibility.
We uncover what high-level entrepreneurs, business owners do to rise up from hustling daily.
So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances.
The world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
Join me as I share with you actionable tips to help you grow your business, learn skills, and help you level up in your self-development journey.
Your number one spot for business and personal growth is the Online Hustlers Podcast with your host, Esteban Andrade.
Every day I'm hustling.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? In this podcast of the Online Hustlers Podcast, where we do REI marketing and conversion episodes for real estate investors, real estate entrepreneurs, real estate marketers, real estate experts of any kind. So here we have had several people in the real estate space where they have brought in systems, they have brought in automations, they have brought in conversion training, they have brought in different marketing strategies to make sure that we are killing it in the game, and different scaling strategies like hiring people. But today I want to bring in a story of someone that I know as being part of the family. He's became a partner of ours. And he was a flipper, and he's going to tell you more about it. But he was a flipper, and relying on the traditional way of buying deals from wholesalers, being able to get those deals and flipped and make money in real estate. He came from a real estate very well educated background, and found someone that had so much fire on his chest, and found a young lad that was trying to make money in the wholesaling space. And now David Hernandez became a $1 million real estate wholesaling company in the last 12 months. So it's been a year where now he can say, hey, I went through this entire business model shift where I'm not only going to be focusing on these flips and taking over properties from wholesalers, I'm going to go direct to seller, and I'm going to make money out of it. And this episode, we're going to understand how David was able to make millions so far in real estate wholesaling, and still having this real estate knowledge on how to acquire properties in real estate through traditional wholesaling, so traditional real estate investing, and just translating it into a marketing and sales organization. So, David, I'm so excited to have you here. I really wanted to have you for a long time. I think you've been one of our biggest case studies as well recently in 2022, where you've been working with us. We partner up. We are being a marketing arm for your company. We are basically the online marketing department where you have a great relationship with our team, internal team. Every single time that I go to a speaking event and I give examples of what ultimately our real estate partners do, you come always top of mind. Why? Because you've been able to do a tremendous amount of work, and contract after contract and after contract, deal after deal, six-figure deals, six-figure profits, six-figure flips and stuff like that from the very first 4 months, very first five months. So I really want to understand who David Hernandez at the end of the day is. Where does he come from? You're coming from Utah, beautiful Utah, but really who David Hernandez is. I really want to understand who this guy is out of nowhere, coming in hot at Hustle Media. And can you tell me more about that?
I'd be happy to do that. Yeah, I just want to first say thank you, Esteban, for having me on here. I appreciate it. It's an honor. I really don't think of myself as big as what you just said, but it's nice hearing it though. So I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate the partnership. I'm a big believer that you can never do anything by yourself. It takes a team. It takes people that are experts in what they do, and you rub shoulders with them, and amazing things can happen. And obviously, you've seen this year, we've been able to do some pretty amazing stuff. And that has happened because of, not just because of myself or my partner, but our partners, right? Many people that play vital parts in our business. And we just learn how to leverage other people with what they're experts at. And it really all comes together, and we all win. And that's what I love about the real estate industry, is really about creating wins, right? And that's really my why. Why am I in real estate, right? Because I've been in sales with multiple companies, big corporations. But in real estate, the reason why I love doing real estate so much is because it creates more wins than anything I've ever done. Especially going into the wholesale side, right? We are able to help out the people that are distressed, right? Because we worked a lot with motivated sellers, distressed sellers, death in the family. They've lost a job due to COVID or other reasons why. They're in pre-foreclosure, and they need help. They need us. Yeah. So that's the first person that we're helping. And that's what I love about it, is that we get to truly go in and be problem solvers. We just happen to buy houses from people, but really our business is to be problem solvers. We want to be the resource when people don't know who to go to, what to do, where we can actually provide that value for them. That's why we got into it. And it doesn't stop there. It goes to the people we disposition the properties to, the flippers, where I used to be. They get to go into it and they make money from that. The contractors make money, title makes money, real estate agents makes money. And at the end of the day, you are the last person that gets paid. You are the very last person. So really, I look at real estate investing as one of the selfless acts that you're doing, because everybody gets paid first. You get what's left over, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we do have big wins that the real estate investors make, because they are creating value for many people, and they end up making money as well. So that's what I love about real estate. It's been great to be able to do that, and just to solve people's problems, generate wealth for many people, not just for ourselves.
Yeah, and one thing that you mentioned there is that we are ultimately problem solvers, right? And a lot of people come into this game just thinking about the end game that they have towards them, which is what? Generating money. So, excuse me, like you just said, we pay everyone first, and then after that we get paid. So you pay the seller, you pay the realtor, you pay the title company, you pay a bunch of different people. You're serving a lot of different people, and then you're actually getting paid yourself, right? Like you're the last one. You're basically acting as a leader within the real estate space,
right?
Now, I just want to know a little bit more about David. Like, before you were doing wholesaling and being able to make so far millions in real estate, like, who were you? Like, what were you doing? Like, where'd you come from? Where are you coming from initially?
Yeah, so I'm from the United States. I'm from Utah. I was born and raised here in Utah. My family, they're immigrants from El Salvador, so I do speak Spanish fluently, which has been awesome, in the real estate game as well. But yeah, my family came here. My grandparents, my grandpa had properties in El Salvador. He had properties over here. So I've always seen that side of the real estate investing, right? I'm like, how's grandpa always going every winter to El Salvador, always coming back here, but I've never seen him have a job? Well, he did. He owned properties, right? So he had that rental real estate. So I loved seeing that. And he always said, even if you're a bird, and even if it's a birdhouse, own that birdhouse, own that real estate, right? And then rent it out. So I remember just learning that from him. And just my parents, my dad, super hard workers. They came over here to a new country, not knowing the language, became citizens, started working for companies, raised 9 kids. So we come from a family of 9, and a lot of my siblings are successful. And I was just able to see the sacrifice that my parents made by leaving their country. And I took that to heart. I know that we are here, and we're here to grow and to take opportunities. and I need to seize my opportunity, and I really need to go at it 100%, right? I need to make the most out of what I have. So that's kind of like where the family dynamic where I came from. But yeah, I'm married to an amazing wife. We have 4 kids together. I've always worked in sales for companies, concrete sales, doing ready mix concrete for a company, doing equipment sales. I'm a licensed life insurance agent as well. So that's where I really started working on helping people out. And then during that time where I was more on your own, right? I didn't have a salary or I didn't have an hourly job. I was making what I was putting out. During that time, it was 2 years ago. That's when things with COVID were going crazy, right? And I got sick and I almost died. I was in the hospital with COVID, pneumonia, on ventilator. I mean, it was the worst situation. They didn't know if I was going to make it. Luckily, I'm here and I made it. Thank God to that, and my family, and I realized I have another shot at life, right? And it really motivated me to really push myself and try to do more. So during that time, I recognized that in my industry that I was in, I wasn't generating work. So because I wasn't generating work, there was no income coming in, right? I'm not closing policies. I'm not doing that. There's no income coming in. But what really saved me was the real estate that I own, my rental properties, my short-term rentals, my Airbnbs. That is what kept us going during the time I was sick. And I realized real estate is it. That is where I need to be. I just need to take my skill set and go 100% and make that my plan A, plan B, plan C was to do real estate. And that's really what got me into the real estate space. I was doing real estate while I had those other jobs just as a side hustle, and I was doing fairly well. And I realized I had a passion for it. And I'm like, if I'm doing this good as a part-time, what if I put all my energy and effort into doing it full-time? And that is what happened this year. We went into it 100%, invested in our business. I'm a big believer that the 2 best investments you can make is in yourself. We do what we know. So if you want to do more, learn more. And then when you start doing that, invest back into your business, because your business is what pays you back. So that's, I guess, in a nutshell, kind of like what got me into real estate investing.
So you were a victim of COVID. How long did that take you out?
Well, I was in the hospital in ICU for about 6 days. I was out for months after that, just trying to recover with my lungs. I ended up getting beat up pretty bad, but I was able to fight through it, and luckily was able to get some medicine that they gave me that ended up helping me out, and I was able to survive it. So,
okay. Now, like you said, that real estate helped you and sustained you, made you see the light that you had a few properties acquired on a long-term rental, I'm assuming. Is that right?
Yeah. So I had one long-term rental, and then I had a short-term rental. Other people know as Airbnb or VRBO. So even though I was sick in the hospital or on vacation or whatever, the rentals were still generating income for us, right? People were still renting it out. We were still getting that passive income coming in. So that was huge for me to be able to have that to sustain for me and my family to still have money coming in.
How many rentals did you have at that time?
Oh, at that time we had 2 properties. So 2 doors that we were renting out. During that time, we saw how amazing short-term rentals are. So we ended up converting our long-term rental into a short-term rental. So now we have 2 short-term rentals right now. And this year it's been kind of growing the business as well, doing more of the wholesaling and flipping. But now we're going to be going into more buy and hold, more rental properties. And that's our goal, is to acquire and really grow our multifamily and passive income real estate portfolio.
Okay. All right. Now, you having this rental portfolio, I mean, relatively, I'm not saying it's small, but I mean, it's not the biggest, but
No,
you
it's
were
pretty small.
able, pretty small, right?
Yeah.
But you were
Yeah.
able to see that it came in a couple, I don't know, hundreds or $1,000 a month, and you almost really lost your life. Do you really think that you were going to like make it, or was everything good, or like you thought that you was gonna be pretty bad?
No, there were some times where they thought I was gonna be gone. So my lack of oxygen, couldn't breathe. I was on assisted breathing. Because of that, if your body's not getting oxygen, your body starts to die. So organs started failing, and I could feel I was slipping away. Right, it was touch and go. They were giving me a lot of stuff, nothing was working. They were going to intubate me. So they were going to put me in an induced coma, put tubes down my throat to help me breathe. So it got pretty serious. It got pretty scary. Had a fever of 105 for days. They couldn't get the fever to come down. Body aches worse than I've ever experienced. And I went there weighing 175, and I think I left around 138 when I left the hospital. So my body was just taking everything it had just to stay alive. But yeah, it was an eye-opening experience. Really made me rethink about my time with my family. How can I have something where I can decide how much time I want to be with my family, how much I want to or don't want to make? That's the one, probably more than anything. The money side of real estate's great, but what I love about it is that we own our time. We decide how busy we want to be, how many vacations we want to take. I take pride that I get to see my kids every single morning before I go to school, and I get to see them a lot of times when they come home. I make it to other activities because my business partner and I, we just communicate and we get to do fun stuff. He's been in Mexico while I'm closing on a deal, and he goes on DocuSign and he signs, and he just made money while he's on vacation. And he's done the same for me as well, where I get to be on vacation and he closes on a deal, will wholesale a deal, and I just have to jump on DocuSign and sign it as well. So I love the freedom that it gives you as well.
Okay, now let's come in a little bit, because you said and being able to leverage and delegate stuff to people that are experts on specific areas or just have that fire of specific areas. You said that at the very beginning, and I think you started off with Noah, who is your young partner, where he helps with entire transaction and acquisitions of the properties, right? And you started that way, like in getting more into the wholesaling, more into the direct to seller. Before, what were you doing? Were you just relying on a wholesaler to come in? You would flip it, make money? How was that?
Yeah, so that's how I started. Was I started by first educating myself. I knew I wanted to do real estate, but I didn't know what to do. Right, so I bought some courses about real estate and started learning, and then waiting to see out of the 5 things that they teach that you can leverage, what do I have that I can leverage right now? So they talk about your knowledge. You can leverage your knowledge, time, relationships, credit, and then money. Everybody thinks money is what you need to do real estate, and that's not true, because if you can leverage the other 4 things, the money is what follows, right? So what I had at that time was some time, and I had some money in equity in our property. So I actually started lending on deals. So I was lending money for the renovation or gap funding. After the first position lien holder lends the purchase amount, I was lending money in deals. So I went into it as a super passive way of just leveraging what I had available, and that was some money of equity in our home, was lending that out, ended up making money doing that. And then I started acquiring properties from wholesalers. So they started bringing deals to me. I knew how to analyze them, see if there was margin in there. Then we started flipping some homes, and saw that there was some pretty amazing money that you could make in flipping as well. But I realized a few things. One was I can only do with whatever other people are finding. So I was stuck to only doing what other people were able to find for me. And then the other part was different wholesalers. I was actually doing my numbers, and I was realizing there wasn't any margin with the deals that were being brought to me. So I was kind of like, okay, I see a problem, but what am I going to do about it? And the year before I partnered up with Noah, I was with some of my mentors, and I told them, I want to become one of the best wholesalers here in Utah. And not, I want to make more money than everybody else, but I want to be the wholesaler that provides the most amount of value to flippers. So I saw a problem that I couldn't get deals from wholesalers that I felt like had enough margin. So I wanted to go find those deals. So that way other people could win, and they would want to call me back, or any deal that I have, they know this is coming from Dave and Noah, Live Smart Homebuyers. We want to make sure to get that deal from them because there are some awesome margins in there. So, but yeah, that's kind of how I transitioned from lending on some deals. We also did 20 acres of land. We bought land. Partners brought it to me. And that's where I really learned about the benefits and beauty of relationships. My first 5 deals that I did were brought to me by someone in our real estate community. So I really saw, I mean, your net worth is worth your network, right? Like if you network with a lot of people that are looking for deals, that are hustling every single day, that, you know, I mean, it helps you grow as well. So that was huge for me to be able to have that community of investors that were knowledgeable, knew what they were doing. But yeah, those first deals were brought to me by everybody else, and I just leveraged what I had available. So
which education were you able to get? Was it books or a specific course that you had in?
Yep, specific course that I bought, and I was able to go learn about this course. And it's an education online, so you can have it at any moment. Like for my phone, a lot of people binge watch Netflix. I binge watch real estate courses, so it's really cool. So for an example was that land deal. I never did any land acquisition before, so I was able to go to the courses that I have, binge watch everything about land acquisition, and I was able to learn what to do with it. And then we took an opportunity and took the knowledge, and we're able to go make some good money on that land deal. So,
yeah, okay, that's great to like being able to leverage education in terms of that way. But you also went into partnering up with Noah, and it's not like you can binge watch in people in Facebook and see if they're the right person, or like go to every single event and try to see if every single person is the right, what person will be the right individual to potentially partner with. It's very it is more of a gamble to go in a partnership with someone to make money, see if it's going to ultimately work. But why'd you end up choosing Noah as one of your partners that was younger than you, didn't have the amount of experience or the amount of knowledge that you ultimately got? Why'd you end up choosing Noah?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to share that. So I approached Noah. We approached each other, I guess, because I knew that he was trying to do wholesaling, right? He was getting into the wholesale game, really wanted to be successful. He was doing it for 2 years. I'm doing some wholesale deals, and it just quite wasn't able to get the deal going, wasn't able to generate some money. So I wanted to help him out with the knowledge side of it, right? Helping him learn what could you do with the deal once you have it, or how to get a deal under contract. Noah was doing a lot of research online on YouTube, was learning wholesaling and stuff like that. I felt like what I had was implementation strategies, not just knowledge side, not just learning how to do it, but how to implement what you needed to do. And Noah ended up getting a deal. He was calling pre-foreclosure lists. So he was cold calling. He had a team of cold callers, some of his friends that were doing it, and they scheduled an appointment. So he told me, "Hey, Dave, I have a deal. I see him at the gym. We work out. We're from the same place. So He told me about a deal that he was working on. I talked to him about some posturing. I analyzed the deal with him, and I told him, as an investor, this is how much we would need. You need to get it for less. He went and negotiated, got it under contract. I was going to be a potential buyer for him. And I saw what he was going to make on it as a wholesaler. And I'm like, hey, I have the real estate side, the flipping side. It was your ideal paint and carpet, right? Super easy flip. So I told him, hey, why don't you just do some delayed gratification? I won't pay you the wholesale cost, but I'll bring you on as a partner, right? So I brought Noah on. We went and did the deal. It was our first one that we did together, and we ended up making $64,000 on this first deal. More than three times the amount that he would have made, if he would have just done a quick wholesale. When it's your first deal and you're wholesaling, you're so excited to sell it that you just want to, let it go and do 1% or whatever percent that people do. And, but he was able to make more money. At that point,
how much was he gonna make out of that wholesale deal?
I believe 10,000 was going to be the wholesale assignment that he was going to do it for. So, and I could have been like, sweet, here you go. I know how much I'm going to make, but I knew there was more to him. I knew with how hard he was going, 2 years, right, of doing this, and not quitting. I mean, a lot of people, when they start in the wholesale game or they start in real estate, if they don't see something happening within a week or months or in the first year, they're out, right? Because there's costs that go into it. But Noah was going to college at the same time. He knew what he wanted to do. I saw that in him, and I knew that he had that fire that even though he was getting no's, every single no was the next one to his yes, right? So he was like just super motivated, super eager. And I knew I can only do so much myself, but if I partner with people that are wanting to grow, that are wanting to learn, that are motivated, that are hustling out there, then that could be a great partnership because, two minds thinking alike, two minds thinking hard. I know where we're at, not because of what I've done myself, but the partnership and what we've been able to create really is what's put us where we're at.
Okay. Do you feel like you needed Noah at the time, or you just wanted to give it a shot?
I mean, I knew I needed that motive, that push as well, right? Like, I'm like, he was so hungry that I almost felt like I had to overperform, not just for myself. I had to perform to make it work for him as well. I remember he was talking to his parents about quitting college and, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And he got a lot of pushback from friends, family, that he needed to continue doing it. And he ended up dropping out. So I really felt like, dang, I really need to make this work for this kid, right? We need to really make some good money so he can say, hey, look, I did this. I made it work. And he did. He did it. He made it work. It was really cool because he came from such a humble start of not making anything and seeing what we've been able to generate together, seeing the lifestyle that he has now. He just got married this week or this year, got engaged, got married, went on an amazing honeymoon that not most 23-year-old kids that get to go and experience the stuff that he's been able to experience and have the things that he has and having an awesome future ahead of him. So, I was just able to see the fire in him and see that he was coachable, that he was willing to learn, he was willing to grow. And and I wanted to harness that energy and put my experience, his energy, and just come together. So
great. So in less than 12 months, you guys have been able to generate a few million transactions in real estate, and you guys are continuously growing. So you guys, how first of all, everyone that is listening to this podcast, if you find this a really cool story and you want to know more, first of all, leave us a review. You feel like you've gotten value out of this, and there is a way to reach out to David so that he can tell you exactly how he did that transition and found a partner and everything a little bit deeper. You stay until the end. We're going to get all the information about David and how to reach out to him, get to know more about him, get to know more about his current marketing tactics, his current sales process, his current mechanics of the entire business. We're gonna dive deeper now into this and get into the tactical stuff, into the secrets, get into the hacks. Okay. And here, David, I want to understand, like, when you guys started, like, what was your first form of like getting to these sellers? Like, what was your first form of getting to the sellers?
Yeah, so it was definitely what Noah had going already. Like, I didn't do wholesaling, he did wholesaling. So he really continued doing the cold calling. And we realized there's got to be more to this, right? We closed on this one deal. And that's the beauty about, I helped Noah, but as we both made that first close, we now had money we could leverage, right? So we're like, okay, how can we reinvest the best into the best stuff for our business so we can take what we've made and have it continue growing for us? And we started looking into different marketing companies. I went to some meetups and I saw some of the top people here in Utah that were doing this. And I found out they had marketing companies. They had people that were professionals at what they do, doing what they do best, and they would hire them out, right? So they weren't marketing themselves. They had professionals doing it for them. So we started looking into it. We started looking online, calling different marketing agencies, interviewing them, trying to figure out, okay, what can they provide for us? Costs going into it. What are they guaranteeing? I know nothing's guaranteed, but what are they trying to achieve for you and stuff like that? And we were able to see that all these top dogs in the industry do have marketing agencies on Instagram, Facebook, PPC, SEO, just different forms of getting to a large crowd out there. Social media is huge. A lot of people are on social media. Whether you have money or you're broke, you're on social media. So it's a great platform that we were able to do marketing where we could find people that were in a distressed situation, market out to them. And so we went that route, started interviewing some people. We ended up meeting Esteban and his team. And we just hit it off from the very beginning from that point. And we were able to leverage what they're experts at. And
so we were in the very beginning of your stages in wholesaling. Is that what you said?
Yep. Very beginning stages of wholesaling.
Okay. So how long do you guys do cold calling before going into online marketing?
2 months, if that. It really wasn't long at all. We just were working on this flip, doing some cold calling. And then we were like, all right, we need to up our game. We need to put this money in the right place so it can continue growing for us. And that's where we decided we were going to put it into social media marketing. You
put an entire year, like you went for it. You went into like an entire year of sign up.
Yeah, we did. And I think it was more of a mindset thing than anything else. I feel like if we would have done the monthly payments, that we would have given ourselves a bad month and said, no, this isn't going to work. I feel like if we kind of had the mentality of burning your ships, right? We were committing to it. It was either going to work or it was going to work. The best way of doing that was paying for the whole year. We knew we were committed for the whole year, that we were going to make it work. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. We were just going to make it happen. So I think just by going in and knowing that, our mindset was that we would win. We just knew that from the very beginning. And if we had that money and we made money on that flip, why not just put the whole thing into it so we know we were done upfront, right, with what we were going to be paying into it. So that was kind of our mindset of just going into it 100% and committing to what we were going to do.
So I'm just curious now, like, what do you think that you had in your mindset that for you is normal, but maybe for other people might not be normal to have that mindset? You signed up for an entire year, 12 months, and you knew that regardless of what's going to happen, it's going to win. But what are those reasoning? What is the reasoning behind it that got you to have that mindset? Like, what are those top mindset things that you understood before starting out this game? and working with us?
Yeah, so I did a lot. I mean, before going into it, I went to different trainings of mindset trainings, real estate trainings, and I guess I wasn't born just with that mindset. It's been an evolution, right? Of just learning, reading books, educating myself. Like I talked about, investing in something that teaches you processes, systems, and you really start learning that most successful companies, they all have a system, they all have a process, and you just have to. One of the mentors that I know, he called it R&D, rip off and duplicate. Right? You just take what people are doing, put your own spin on it, and put it to action. Right? So it's been a lot of just feeding myself. And another thing that I think it's just knowing your why. Right? I knew going into it 100% that I had, because of what happened earlier in the year, I just wanted to make it work for my family as well, right? I wanted to build a system where I wasn't on the phone calling every day, trying to get leads. I had people calling me, right? That they wanted me to help them out. So it freed up a lot of time for us, of not being on the phones, calling every single day, hundreds of thousands of people. And where we were able to create a system where people that were distressed were reaching out to us and were coming to us because they needed some help.
Yeah. What do you think that are the top mindset issues that real estate investors and wholesalers have before investing into themselves or investing into marketing, for example, that it's so important that to generate leads, to generate potential sellers?
Right. I don't know, because I don't know everybody's mind, but a few things that I've heard, right, is that they can figure it out themselves, right? And it's true. I think over time you can watch enough YouTube videos, talk to enough people. You can try, but you can also lose a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing, right? Like you can go into deals or do deals wrong, do some wholesale deals wrong, get sued, or get a property because you're a flipper and not really know how to run your numbers. Next thing you know, you have hard money lenders wanting their money back. You can't be able to give them what they're supposed to have. That I think they just want to figure it out themselves. It's kind of through trial and error. I didn't want to go through trial and error. I just wanted to do it right from the beginning, know how to do it right, implement it, and see the results come through. I think a lot of people, when we talk about mindset, a lot of people,
Recording progress.
Sorry. Oh, you're good. I have the mindset of, the best investment you can make is in yourself. I honestly don't understand how people will invest in a real estate flip that transaction stops. You buy it, you flip it, you make some money, and it's over, right? So you are investing in something every single time in the real estate game. But the person that's making all those choices is you. It's yourself. So for me, I'm like, well, I am my most important asset. Forget all these other houses. I'm the most important asset because mine is infinite. Whatever I learn, I can duplicate that over and over and over and over, and it's limitless with what I can do. So that's why I look at it as doing that. And then when we talk about the business aspect, investing back in your business, creating these systems, creating partnerships with people to do what they're experts at, and you get to leverage that, right? And that helps you grow in your business as well.
So one thing that you've had from the very beginning, and this is just me seeing you inside the program, is so there is a lot of shiny object syndrome out there, but you've been able to be really focused and get your attention into the game real strong. And you see why I see it. It's because from the very beginning, you were focused on going to sales trainings, being able to really improve your craft, being able to just make that sword sharper of sales. And every single week you would go and take Juan's advice, bring in leads or situations, a case study with a seller, and going very, very disciplined into these calls, which made me realize that you really are full in. You're taking advantage of this. A lot of people do not understand every single thing that it takes to become successful in this game. It's very simple process. You just have to do it. You have to do the boring work, the boring stuff, and stuff that maybe is going to take your daily time away. But once you have it in order and once you're doing it, you're going to see that these daily activities that you got to do, such as learning how to properly understand sellers, talk to sellers, connect with sellers, understand their pain points, being able to properly follow up with sellers, being able to properly like manage your pipeline, and being able to get back to sellers at the time that you need to, or touch base with them, follow up with them in a long period of time. Don't forget about your customers, about your sellers. Don't forget about your buyers. So all these daily activities that you have to do on a day-to-day basis that people think that they do, but they don't really do, and they don't really optimize to do the very best of it and be highly productive. You were doing it. I saw you behind the trenches every single day, every single week. Even though you guys were making already good money, you were there. Like, you were showing up. Okay. And I think that even Juan Nicasio can say that you sent him a few of the deals, screenshots that you did, including that 6-figure flip that you once did. And like a big wholesale deal or something like that. I was able to see that. But all right, let's go back a little bit into starting into the online game. And were you still doing cold calling while you were doing it online?
No, we kind of pulled back from that just because we wanted to, like you said, we were doing the training. We were on there every single week, learning how this process, because it was new to us, right? And we just wanted to make sure that we were, like you said, being committed. We just put a big investment into our own business. So we wanted to make sure that we were going to maximize training that we were going to be getting, learning from other people in the wholesale game, studying my wholesale classes that I had, masterminding with Noah. What are we going to shift? What are we going to do? What markets are we going to be looking into? Where do we have an influence? And it was in our local market. It wasn't just about acquiring properties in the wholesale game. It's about dispositioning properties. You can get as many properties as you want, but if you can't move them, those leads don't mean anything to you, right? So we were focusing on building our buyers list and making sure people were aware with what we were doing. So that way, the minute we get a deal, in a few days or in a couple weeks, that property was dispositioned to someone else. So,
and this was in a very short period of time. Like you guys went in, and it's been less than 12 months with, on the wholesale side, or about 12 months. And you guys had to figure that out, all of that with speed, shorten that amount of shorten that time frame. Obviously, Noah was hustling and not really making a lot of money by himself before he met you. But what do you do to shorten that time frame so far? Like, in order to quickly get buyers, understand the dispo system, understand getting deals done. Like, what do you do to shorten time frame that you needed in order to, apart from getting the leads and the contracts, getting them closed?
So what did we do to kind of make the process happen faster?
Yeah.
Well, it was so, and I don't know if I've told you this. So the wholesale game, yes, we wanted to do wholesaling, but we were still in the mindset of wanting to get properties to flip. But we had an abundant amount of deals coming in that we wanted to see. We didn't want to wait 3 to 6 months for the flip to happen to generate some money, because we had marketing costs. So we reanalyzed all the deals we had under contract and said, wait a minute, how much money could we make wholesaling these deals? We know what an investor would need to make because we bought it as an investor mindset. We're like, there's margin in here, and we can wholesale 3 of these deals and what we would make in one of them in like 6 months. So it was speed. right? We're like, wow, we can really make money quicker. And yes, more the person flipping it has the potential of making more money. But we knew in 2-3 weeks what we would be making instead of hoping we would make a certain dollar amount, a certain figure in 3 to 6 months or however long it would take to get the property finished. So, but we saw that factor of speed and the factor of our community relationships that we had with people, that we had people that they trusted us with the knowledge that we have, the relationship that we've been honest with everybody with what we're doing. So I think that's really where the speed came in, was one, understanding, training. Obviously, I have to give it up. You've mentioned Juan Nicasio many times, attending the training, learning how to get the properties locked up, how to get a buyer, how to move the properties over to the buyer, doing all that side of it. So building our list of buyers, going on Facebook, letting people know, hey, we have a deal, who's looking for properties in Utah, building our buyers list, going on Facebook, going on different platforms that we could go and let people know that we had a deal that we could assign over to them. And and just sticking, we made sure that our investors that would come in would know that whatever contract we had with the buyer, they needed to make sure that they are going to see it through, right? Hey, if with this close date, you need to make sure to make it happen at this point. I think another thing that really helped us out with the speed factor that you've asked about is we marketed to the right people. We weren't trying to wholesale deals to people that didn't know what they were doing. We went to people that have the knowledge of flipping properties, that have the experience of flipping properties. So we were bringing people what they knew what to do with it. They could run their numbers really quick. They had the lending or the buying power to be able to buy these properties. So I think a lot of it was our partnerships that we have with our buyers list. A lot of our buyers, they've been repeated buyers from us, right? We've wholesaled multiple properties to them. And I think that's from the one, bringing quality opportunities to them, and two, having that relationship back and forth with them.
And how long did it take you to bring that relationship, get that relationship with buyers? Like, it's not like you're like, just posting on a shotgun approach on Facebook and then ultimately getting like some sort of like someone telling you, hey, I want to buy, and then you put them in your mail list and you just blast it, and then you actually taking the time to develop these relationships. Like how do you currently doing that?
Well, one of them is, so one of them was, I'm in the education that I have. It's a nationwide group of real estate investors. So honestly, it doesn't matter what state I pick up a property. We mainly market in Utah, Idaho, but if someone lives in Utah and they have a property in Detroit, like the last deal that we just wholesaled was a property in Detroit, we were able to reach out in our community of people in that area and see who in that area that has that same knowledge, that has that same drive, is doing real estate investing. So we were able to go out and find people in different states and stuff like that. So that has been huge to just a lot of the people that did get deals from them, we've known them from learning together, going to events together. And that really, I think that's what's kind of made the speed factor happen for us. When
you got this Detroit deal, who did you reach out to? Was it like someone inside of the community of Hustle Media, like Facebook groups? Like, what was that? How was that?
So we did. So we did. We've reached out, and I'm glad you brought that up. So in the Hustle Media, we have people in every single state doing things. So we have the opportunity to just JV, right? Joint venture work with other people in other communities. This was one of those rare ones where we actually did go to the city and we looked up real estate investing in the city, and we ended up finding an end buyer. Noah was the one that took that on. He dispositioned that property. So, okay,
that's awesome. So Noah is taking care of dispositions. Are you taking care of acquisitions?
Yeah. So I also help with, because I have that relationships with people in the real estate community. They now know Noah. He's my partner. He's came in. He has the education side as well. And it's kind of funny. We both take on the acquisition part, disposition part, because we just go with whoever's available to jump on and do it. Now, I feel that my strong suit is on the acquisition part, is on the negotiation, is on problem solving and stuff like that. Noah, it is newer to the game, and he's doing amazing. And the training he's been getting has really helped him out. But I think a lot of it just comes through, in every sales position that I've had in the past 14 years was all problem solving, dealing with mad people, being called so many different names for stuff that you have no responsibility for what happened, right? So I think a lot of it was just the experience that I have of being able to negotiate, being able to problem solve and stuff like that. That it just doing it in the real estate side, I feel is really natural for me. I feel like I can really connect with people and make them feel that, hey, we're here just to help you out. So,
yeah. Well, at the same time, though, that I feel like also he's also doing the entire B2B part of the sales, because whenever he connects with people in the real estate cash buyer side or these relationships that he had, that's more of a B2B transaction at the end of the day, right? Like you bring in a contract that you already have and you have to be able to like sell it to the proper buyer. Right. You have to be able to properly do it so that you get the right profits. The person also is making the right amount of money. It knows that you guys can continue to be doing business together and such. So you also have to have the sales side of it, right? It's a different sales. It's a different type of negotiation or tactics that you gotta utilize, but it's also sales, right? Now, Noah, at this current moment, what do you feel like you guys continuously grow and bring in more people, and now that you guys are showing up as making already millions in real estate wholesaling, what are going to be those roles that you guys are going to take in once you start delegating more of the operations, more of the production side? Like, where do you see yourself now growing inside the company, and Noah growing inside the company?
Right. And we've talked about that. We've talked about, hey, how can we start being business owners instead of just working in the business, right? And it all comes about, it just comes to building more relationships. So recently, one thing that we did is, and I guess we ended up hiring an acquisition manager, not really acquisition manager, but I guess more of an account manager. So we hired a virtual assistant through Remote Latinos that we were able to hire. She had experience already doing cold calling. Her name is Manalyn. She's from the Philippines. She is amazing. So now, because of the leads that were coming in, not everybody really understands what it's for. They're clicking on Facebook. That she's now able to jump on there and vet people and then schedule appointments for us. So she's getting the temperature of people to see where they're at, how serious they are, and then see if it's worth us scheduling an appointment for her. As she grows into that role, we want to start bringing on more acquisition. I feel like I do a good job, but I would love to find someone that is a lot better than me at getting deals, right? I'd love to find that person. It could be Noah, could be Lynn, could be someone else that we bring on that is able to take on that role, and they're able to do better than I can, right? Of being able to get deals under contract and be able to disposition. I know Noah, he has motivation to do the same thing, where we can bring people in together, do the right training. And now we're working with our business in the business of, okay, what other systems can we implement? What other marketing strategies can we do? the market is shifting, and you either shift with the market or you get left behind, right?
Yeah.
So we need to start looking at what other avenues. We started just recently doing more cold calling, working with real estate investors, with people that have had properties listed for a long period of time. How can we create a win-win with them, right? How can we come in, pick up these properties? So getting creative, doing seller finance. I mean, there's a lot of different ways and strategies that we're learning, things we didn't even know about, that we've learned in the training with Juan and with other people that are doing things different in different states. How can we implement different strategies? So I think our role will be more of how can we do different things to continue growing and changing with the industry that's happening.
Okay. Now, if that's the case, I can definitely also help you guide you and Noah and a few things that I have in mind for you. I don't know if you've heard, but it will be a game changer. And if I connect you directly with someone, for example, in the with James Hodges' team, or even Tiffany High team, you guys will be able to have a great understanding of what's possible for the next levels, because like you guys are in levels right now, right? So that's great. Now let's go back a little bit more to the marketing side. Marketing in terms of you guys were starting to receive leads from online marketing. And can you tell us the first few months, the first few leads, the first few sellers? Just walk us through some of examples of the deals that you were able to get. I know that you guys had at the beginning like a mindset of like flipping, and then moved on into like, okay, let's make sure that some of these flips now are just wholesales. But what are some of the few deals in the first 4 or 5 months you made? Like, if I'm correctly, like over 30x, like in your first few months of the investment.
We did. And I'll say this, not all results are typical, right? But we don't want to just be the typical investor. Like we really take pride in what we were able to do. A lot of it was getting started. You will never get a result if you don't commit and get started. I look at how quickly, and I thought it was almost weird how quick we were just like, okay, we found the company. Yes, we're paying it all. Yes, we're doing the training. Okay, it was right before Christmas. Let's, in November, let's go ahead and launch marketing campaign. Marketing campaign starts going. Less than a week, I think it was either our first or second lead that came in was the deal that we made over 6 figures on.
Okay.
It blew our mind, right? Like it was actually, I think, Christmas Eve where we went over with, my wife went with me, Noah went with me. We went and met with the seller, and this is the seller's situation. Her name was Pauline. I remember her because she was our first lead, first person that we were able to help, and her husband passed away. And she was in a very tough situation. And we went into it, what we call it is need-based selling. Values, we saw what's happening right now. They've been going down. So it's hard to go off of what do you think it's worth? We don't ask a seller, what do you think? What is it worth? We ask them, what are you needing, right? What is the problem that you have right now? And what do you need to go continue to do what you want to do? She was behind on her payments. She was in pre-foreclosure. She had some bills from her past husband that, they were trying to get all that money from her and stuff. So that ended up, we were able to come in, catch her up, get her some money to go get another place with her family, cash. And we were able to get the property at a great price at the same time. So we were taking care of her needs. It was taking care of our needs, what we wanted to do with it. This was a flip. And we partnered with great people to help us get it flipped, get it moved. And what we thought was going to be $110,000 ended up being closer to $140,000 on that first lead that we got coming in. So right there, we were like, oh my gosh, this is something else, right? With what we could do. But a lot of it came to the action that we took. I mean, we were 100%. As soon as that lead came in, we were calling, negotiating, finding out what her needs were, went and met with her in person, had a contract in hand, made it happen. we were able to close. We had the right lenders, so we could act really fast. Speed was a big part for her, so we were able to get the money over to her. So that was one that we were able to get. And it seems like every property that we've been able to close on, either to flip or to wholesale, have all been with distressed sellers, people that they really need the speed factor done for them, and they're in a pretty bad situation, and what they need is just a solution for their problems.
Okay. Now, when you're saying that a lot of these big deals has been from distressed sellers. So we know that we have motivated people and we also have distressed people, and we also could have both motivated and distressed, because motivation doesn't mean that someone is distressed, right? It doesn't mean like you're about to like, you know what I mean? Like go and like, this is a very bad situation. Someone might be motivated, but doesn't mean that it's not distressed or the property is not distressed. So what's been your experience so far? And why do you feel like not only you put in the work, speed to lead, great sales process, being able to connect real well with the seller, diagnose the problem real well, understand how you can solve the problem, present the solutions. But do you feel like this leads, like what kind of leads and what kind of context are they coming from? Like, do they tell you, oh, I saw your ad, I saw your video, I saw your company, I Googled you after or before? Like what was this entire, like, have you been able to like really get some feedback out of these sellers?
Yeah, so I have. So that first lead, she actually, that first person that we helped, Pauline, she actually did a testimonial for us where we went to her and she explained how she found us, and it was on Facebook. So she had letters coming in. She's like, I had so many letters coming in and so many letters coming in, but I saw your guys' post and I felt like you guys were honest people. So I committed and filled out my information and talked to you on the phone, and you seemed like you were local people and local to the, we lived like 45 minutes away from her. So we were really close to her. And she just had confidence in what we were doing, that we met with her in person. But yeah, that's how she found us, was on Facebook. So she was on there trying to figure out what to do and put her information, and it came to us.
You feel like these people, they saw you are advertising, like, was it in the shape of the picture? Was it in the shape of the video? Because they've had a lot of letters, direct mail being sent to their home, but I'm assuming they never took action with any of the investors or wholesalers that were doing direct mail. Right. But they did with you. I know that you guys put in the effort into creating a video, and you guys actually were in a video, like I saw it, where you took the phone on a selfie mode and were able to chat, even explain a case study, or like you even talk how you're going to be able to help them and the benefits of working with you. So like, what do you think was the entire like reasoning, like, and why do you think these people having so many direct mails work with you?
I think one of them was just ease for them. I think when you see something on your phone and you can easily fill out information, but you're not talking to them. So you're like, all right, well, let me just fill this out right online. Let me just put my information and just do that. I think it's really easy for people to do that. And when people have a lot of stuff coming to them, I think it's hard for them to pick, what should I do? So I feel like we did something different that not a lot of other people do, right? We I'm trying to think of the right word, but we went against the grain, right? We weren't just sending out letters, and I still think that works as well, right? People going and sending out letters, we call that low hanging fruit. But I feel like we did what not everyone else is willing to do, of doing the social media marketing and stuff like that. And I think that's really, really helped us out. And that's really what drew her to be able to reach out to us, that we could get in contact with her, was just the ease of being able to put your information online. All right.
I know. I love that, man. Do you feel like a lot of your sellers have been like that or very similar so far, the ones that you've done wholesaler?
Yeah. So you talked about our video. So we did do a video, and one of the properties that we acquired, they were in the similar situation. They were online. They actually saw our video, and they saw who we were. They heard us talking about what we can do to help people out. And the lady said, I just really trusted that you guys could help us, right? So you saw the video of us, like you said, talking about one of our case studies, one of the properties. It was actually Pauline, how we helped her with the situation that we were in, that we were looking for properties in that specific area. And they were in a similar motivated state where they wanted to sell their house, and they reached out to us. So the video part was great. I'm glad you brought that up, because we're actually going to be revamping and making a new video and doing that so we can continue doing that video marketing, because I think people want to do business with people. So if you have a video out there that you get to show who you are, how you can help people out, I feel like that's people will react to that in a very positive way. Yeah.
So one quick trick, and it's just something you got to do. Like, it's a tip that everyone needs to do is, once you have someone on a winning position, let's say you have a seller and you're about to close title, right? You're about to close an escrow. You're about to close your deal. And you have them right in the office. You have them right in that position of like so excited. Like it or not, some people will have excitement even if they don't show it. So they would agree to stuff that they would not agree when they're in their normal, usual mode. So if you get them into that position and you know that those times are before closing and after closing, then get them to go to your office, get to your studio, to invite them over a coffee or whatever, and ask them, hey, can we record a testimonial? Because I want to help other sellers. Mm-hmm. Can we record a testimonial? Because I want to help other sellers that are going through a very similar situation. And your testimonial, even if we, let's say, don't show your full face or whatever, we can do that. But if you're showing your face, you're showing that you're a human being, you're showing that you actually were taken care and serviced by us, then we potentially can help others change their life too. So would you be open on that? And on top of that, I'll give you a $50 gift card to, let's say, like Starbucks or whatever, gift card, whatever. And so now they're incentivized, but they're also in the winning moment. And you can ask them for a video testimonial. And also after that, go to my Google My Business listing and give us a review after you've given us the video testimonials right in front of you. And you can do that also virtually. Like, before you actually get into the closing line, you can get in a Zoom with them, or you can ask them, request this to them, and they're going to give you a video. They'll send you a video through through text, through a Google Drive, or just jump in a Zoom call with them and record that case study. Because now you're going to put in your website, you're going to put in Google My Business, and that is going to give so much credibility to people that just look for you, that search for you. Like Live Smart Home Buyers, for example, you guys have that video testimonial. And I don't know how many deals you've done, but imagine doing that for every single deal that you closed. You would have at least 10 video testimonials already by now. Right? Yeah. So imagine someone going to your website and your landing page, into your Facebook, into your Google My Business, into your everywhere, and it's in there, just piled up, right? Stack up of real video testimonials of homeowners that are needing some of your help, and that you help them in many different ways, and also Google reviews. So that's huge. I'm glad that you're doing that, man. Will you be posting it on Facebook? Will you be posting in Google My Business? Will you be posting in your landing page, in your website? Where will you be posting that?
Yeah, so I'll be putting on my YouTube, and Esteban, I'll share you that information on my Instagram, Facebook, and on our website. We're going to be, and that's what we're working on right now, is now that we're doing what we're doing, we want to share it with the world, right? We want to be able to have other people learn, to see what we're doing, and that way they can learn from it as well. So, but yeah, that's our goal. Is we have our personal website. We're going to be posting testimonials on there, and we'll be having it on all of our social media as well. So.
YouTube is a great place too, because YouTube is a place where it is activated by the search engine of Google.
Right.
It's the same company. People will go ahead and start searching on your keywords, or keywords need to sell my house, or how to get out of a specific situation. They're going to be able to help you to find you through the headlines. And if you have a YouTube channel for your company, then it means that you're putting it in a public site. Like, you're not scared because you know that you're doing real well. You're servicing others. So putting YouTube in there as well, that'll be huge.
Awesome.
So far, how much have you so far made out of only social media lead generation?
So what we like to share is how much revenue have we generated? Because like I said, I'm not about just how much are we making, how much are we generating for other people. So in revenue sales for this year, we've done over 3 million in revenue sales. That has been since, other than our first deal in Chubbuck, the one that Noah brought to me. From that point on, every single deal we've done to this point has all been through social media marketing.
Impressive.
So it's been a crazy ride, but it's been a lot of fun though. We've enjoyed it.
Well, man, like, you know what? This is the whole reason why you're coming to Miami. Having a second episode, we'll walk through some of the tactics and ways that you've been. We could handpick a few seller deals and like walk us through the entire tactic and how you did it. I think it will be crazy. It will crazy good. Some of the processes that you utilize internally, like in sales, acquisitions, dispo, but the evolution like that you've had so far, it's a lot of people would get inspired, because doing about 3 million in revenue, it's still pretty good. You know what I mean? Like it's really good. And utilizing social media marketing, I have a feeling that you guys now have to like combine another one or two marketing channels too as well. Now it's a moment to start optimizing your marketing channels and making sure that they work with each other. Like they both are working kind of like in a synergy. You're becoming omnipresent slowly, and making sure that you have these other mechanisms to generate deals.
Right. No, I agree with you. Like you said, it's been an evolution, right? From cold calling, getting one deal, doing social media, getting all these deals going through, growing our team, bringing a virtual assistant, doing other marketing channels, getting an office. We're not doing it from home. I'm here at our office that we have now. We have a billboard in our office and our window where people drive by every day. They get to see who we are. So yeah, it's been a very humbling experience. We're very excited, and we're here for the long haul. I mean, we're not just doing it for this year. This is what we're going to do as our career, and we want to help other people too, more than anything else. Like there's more deals out there for a lot of people, right? So so we really do. We want to grow our team. We want to grow our influence that we can have with people, whether if it's someone bringing a deal to us. I'll give you a quick story real quick. We had one deal that we put an offer on. Another guy that lives within an hour from us went and got it for more, right? So they went with them, and we told them, all right, well, that is our today offer. If you come back to us in 2 weeks, I don't know if it'll be the same thing, because the market's been shifting. The guy wasn't able to disposition it. They called me back, and I got it for $20,000 less than what our initial offer was, because we had to adjust with what's happening in the market. We ended up getting it and dispositioning it within a week. So a lot of people, they might be able to find a deal, but they don't know what to do with it. So we're happy to help other people out as well with getting them to the right people in the right channels. So that way they can be able to disposition a property. We've been able to grow just as two people. And we know by bringing in a marketing company, by bringing in our assistants, by bringing in partners, lenders, we can really exponentially grow a lot more by helping other people out. So that's what we want to do in this next year, is help create more real estate investors, right? By giving them the knowledge, the relationship piece, the time, so that way they can be successful as well.
Okay. You're part of that Utah educational company, like Naroda or something like that. You mentioned it to me.
Yeah, it's called Renatus, and I'll make sure to add a link as well, Esteban, so that way if people are interested, they want to learn more, I'm happy to schedule something with them as well.
Yeah, this is where you got your education. You said that from this education was the way that you've been able to like really solve all these people's problems that you've had so far, being able to get deals done that that you never thought that you would have been able to do it, because now you have this basically community of real estate investors, of a high level real estate investors. Now, in Renatus, do you jump in with people, have like masterminds or meetups, or like what is it about? Is it only online that you guys have?
No, so in every state there's a local presence, a local community. People in California, Utah, Idaho, Miami, I mean, you name it. Even in Mexico, they're starting in Mexico. But it's just been, you do have it's the educational piece, it's on demand. You can go on, look up anything about wholesaling, fix and flip, multifamily, business, marketing. I mean, you name it. It's all things business and real estate. So you can have access to that from any device that you have the internet. But at the same time, there's coaches, there's weekly mastermind classes that you can have on all of these different subjects as well. And then there's a local presence where we can actually meet up in person, and we also do training as well. There's more information, more education than I think anybody could ever take on, right? So it's a very high level, and they call it real estate education, but I think it's more of a real estate implementation. There's a lot of things that talk about how to do things. This teaches you how to implement, how to see results, how to really go through and do it and get results out of it. So it's been game changer for me. I really owe a lot of the credit of where I'm at. It's because I'm doing what I know. So I invest in putting as much into myself, so that way I can do a lot.
No, I love that, man. Now, you said that you're part of this people in Utah and these people like in the Renatus real estate education. Have you signed up with our affiliate program so that you're able to like tell people about Hustle Media, and that you can also get some affiliate from us? Like if you are a believer of Hustle Media and RemoteLatinos.com, then there's an affiliate program where we'll get you paid for every single person that you bring in. And if you're a client, then we get you paid monthly. So have you signed up on that already?
I don't think so. I mean, I know we've had some other people that we know that have came on with that. The Remote Latinos is one that I know a lot of people that could really benefit from. When we were interviewing our virtual assistants, but I don't know, I don't like calling them virtual assistants because they really are lead managers. They are very educated. Language is amazing. Lynn's from the Philippines, and you would never guess that. I mean, her English is amazing, her experience. We had a hard time from the list of people deciding who are we going to go with. It wasn't, okay, out of these 10 people, one was good enough. We were like, man, out of these 10 people, 8 of them were good enough. And how do we really go through? So it took us longer to find that one person, simply because the quality of people that we were interviewing was really good. But
okay, awesome, man. I think that you can also sign up for the affiliate for that one, and we'll be going to be able to help you on the RemoteLatinos.com side on the affiliate. because we want you to also become an ambassador at some point. You're being one of the, one of the, let's say, a star success stories of this year, apart from other clients that we currently have, and that you are Latino yourself too. Like, you are Hispanic. There's a background for you on the Central American side, and I love that. So being able to support that and being able to support the entire movement of remote Latinos is going to be huge. And Hustle Media.
Definitely.
So I love to get you. I think the next step for us is, I think we got to get ready to real estate disruptors. We have to get that. We're going to go in as partners. We're going to getting as being interviewed by Steve Trang, and I think that's the next thing for us. And then you coming into Miami. Very excited for that. So far, man, it's been a great episode. Thank you for sharing with me a lot of the things that came with. I didn't know about different things that you mentioned. So it's great that listeners are able to listen to about this and learn from you a few things. I cannot wait until the second episode for you to be in person, coming into Miami. We'll probably bring in also Noah and everything to get it going. What are the next steps for you?
Man, next steps for us, there's a lot of steps, right? I mean, we want to continue. We love the wholesale game. We really do. We're definitely focused on just continue transitioning with the market, with what's happening, growing our business. We'd love to bring on people that want to do real estate investing and want good deals. Reach out to us. Let us know. We'd be happy to bring deals to you and help others make money, because that's really what this game is all about, right? Is to provide values for others. So we want to keep growing our business. We want to bring on more acquisition managers, people that are good at negotiating, that want to join our team. We're always looking to grow that as well. We'll have to talk more about the marketing, different aspects, right, for our business, that we can do some different type of marketing, maybe some PPC, SEO type work as well. And yeah, that's really what we want to do, is just continue growing, continue providing value, and more than anything, being able to be strong enough that we're doubling what we're doing this year, right? In 2023, we really do. We want to double what we've done this year. When we first started, our number that we thought we were hoping to make, we were going off of what we were made at our old job. Like, man, if we could just make what we made in a whole year, both of us, we would both be happy. And we ended up doubling that amount. And then we doubled that amount. And then we doubled that amount. Next thing we know, we're like, oh my gosh, are we really looking at the millions of dollars? Like, it was just so big for us to even imagine that. But it really just came down to just starting. You have to start, right? There's you just can't talk about wanting to do it. You really have to implement it. But yeah, that's what we want to do, is just continue growing as a business and continuing to provide value for other people.
Okay, man, I love that. I love to hear that. It seems like sometimes we try to aim to areas and things, and we never really understand how long, how far we can actually get. And now we got to start thinking even bigger. Like, you have no idea of how much thinking bigger it is, because if we think bigger, imagine what we can accomplish, right? I think Grant Cardone says that something along this line, that if you were to point at a specific blank, at a specific target that is, let's say, 500 meters away, or let's just talk miles, because you guys are miles. Yeah. 500 miles away, right? And you're trying to target that target. And you know that's the ultimate target. That's what you want to hit. Well, why don't you just aim where it is, instead of having 500 miles, it is 1,000 miles. So what if you aim to 1,000 miles instead of 500? Because perhaps you're going to be able to get to the 500 because you're aiming to the 1,000 miles target, right? Right. And it's the same thing here. Like, perhaps you were aiming to this and you were able to get this, but what if you actually now aim for a bigger portion? How far can you get? if I launch a rocket that is designed to go to Jupiter, but it only got to Mars, then that means that I can design a rocket that goes to all the way to the end of our galaxy, and then it could potentially land to Jupiter, right? Like it's just this relative, it's just this relative goal standards that we set on ourselves that sometimes we think that we can achieve so much less than we really can. So why not aim for bigger? Because at least we'll be able to get to where we initially wanted to be, just by like thinking a little bit bigger, thinking a little bit ahead.
Right. No, I agree with you. And that's what we did this last year. And are we going to achieve our recent goal? We really don't know yet. But the beauty is, whether we come close to that, it's still going to be an amazing year for us. So we did. We doubled down. We made it a big, hairy goal for us. And next year's goal is going to be bigger as well. And we know that we just have to do that because then we know what we're striving to do. Right. And you're right. Like I saw a similar thing online where they said to always aim for the moon because there's nothing wrong ending up with the stars. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Aim for the moon, go for the biggest thing that you can go for, because if you get close to that, you'll be pretty happy to where you end up. But if you just do a little bit, I just want to do this much more, then it's just increments. And before you know, it's the end of the year and you're like, man, I should have gone bigger. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So, all right, man, thank you so much for this episode. I'd love to have you again in the second episode. Is there anything that that you can share? I'm going to give you this question that we started asking me and my partner, Amir. What would be something that you believe that other people will have trouble understanding?
It's such as in what aspect? Sorry.
So let me just reshape it again.
Okay.
What will be something that you truly believe that is true for you in life or entrepreneurship, in business, something that you know that you truly believe in, and a lot of people, and this is an important truth, but very few people agree with you on, and like an important truth for you that you believe in that very few people will agree with you on.
Well, I would say one thing that I've always, I did go to college. I did get my degree in business management, right? So I don't try to knock that on people that you shouldn't have to. I think there's the right place for that, but I'm a big believer in self-development, right? That you can't stay stagnant. You have to continue growing, whether if it's spiritually, physically, mentally, whichever way you want to look at it, that you constantly want to be improving, because the world is changing. Things shift, especially in the real estate market. That shifts as well, where if you want to be successful, then you have to be always investing in yourself. I know we talked about those courses that I did for real estate investing, but I didn't stop there. Every single year, I'm going to other masterminds. I'm growing. I'm upping my knowledge of what I want to do. And I think not everybody believes that. I think people feel like, oh, well, I went to one thing and that's good enough. For me, I'm hungry to learn more. I want to continue growing. I'm never going to feel that I know it all, because I think when people get to that point, that's where they get in trouble, right? That's where they stop growing, is because they feel like they know it all, or they feel like they can do it themselves. I don't want to be successful in business just myself. I want to be able to do that for other people. I think a lot of people think real estate investors are greedy, but hopefully by learning how we get paid and knowing that we're the last ones to get paid, I don't think that's a greedy mindset. I think that's more of an abundant mindset. You're willing to go and generate value, which could be money, that value for other people as well. So I think those are two things that I really focus on, is continual growth education, whether if it's college or not college, on practical knowledge, on courses, anything like that can really help you in life.
All right. I like that, man. How can people find you on social media or anywhere?
Yeah, so they can find me on Facebook under David Hernandez. On Instagram, you can find me as well as under David Hernandez, Mr. Real Estate. You guys can always send me a message. My email is I better get this right. So the email is livesmartcompanies@gmail.com. You can reach me there. But social media is really the best platform to reach out to me if anybody has any questions with marketing, with real estate, mindset training, coaching. I just want to be a resource for other people that want to be successful in this business. So.
Is it Mr. David Hernandez Real Estate?
Yep.
That's how on Instagram, Mr. David Hernandez Real Estate that's with a Z at the end. Real Estate. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for being in this episode, man. I hope that the listeners here liked it. Remember to review and share this with others. I'm so excited to see what's going to happen with David and Noah moving forward. And I looking forward to make an impact on everyone that listens to these episodes. All right. So thank you. And thank you for listening.